Yeah.
We have faith. Broadcasting.
At 6 o'clock, do you guys want to just mute your side so that
Oh, no.
all right,
No.
pay attention.
Stupid dog. Over to me.
All right, so it looks like everybody's ready to go. So first off, I can't see you, so I apologize if eye contact is a little bit hard, but first up, thank you for inviting us to your meeting this evening to talk about Big Brothers Big Sisters and the different ways that you can um, help your community, but also then earn your service learning student hours as well. So, my name is Charity Germain, and I'm the office manager here at Big Brothers Big Sisters. And I brought my coworker with as well to help me out with this. So I'll give the floor to her for a moment.
Oh, hi, everybody. I'm Terry Jean Conlon. I'm the development director. So basically, what I do is raise funds for the agency. So I'll be talking to you a little bit later. We're going to let Charity take the lead on this, and then I'll jump in a little bit.
All right. So this is all about service learning, and you guys are a club about giving back to the community. So Big Brothers Big Sisters, in case those of you that don't know much about it, is a one-to-one youth mentoring program. We take children facing adversity in their life and match them with a caring adult mentor. And so we ask for you to spend 1 hour a week with a child for 1 year. Our hope is that you would continue with that beyond that, but that's our minimum ask there. We have a couple of programs that are available. Some are being affected a little bit more by COVID than others. We have our traditional community base. That's where you pick the child up and then you guys go out into the community and do the things that the two of you had set up to do. We still are running our club buddies over at the Boys and Girls Club, which is pretty close to campus as well. However, they are asking us to stay outside. So if you're not a winter person like me, probably not the right program. And then our site-based program, right at this moment, we typically call our Lunch Buddy program, is not doing so well because the schools just don't want visitors in. So a little bit tricky there, but we are learning how to do virtual matches as well. So if you are a virtual person and feel like you could make a bond with a child, we have that program as well. So that is our biggest need is for volunteers. So we typically right now we have about 140 kids waiting for a mentor in our program. The bulk of those are in this Eau Claire area waiting for a mentor. And so that is a way that you can complete your service learning hours that way. So we know that that's not for everybody. So that's why I brought Terry Jean with me so that she can tell you about other ways that you can work with us, help us out as a nonprofit, and then also fulfill those service learning hours. So I'm going to hand it over to Terry Jean.
Okay, so we have a couple different ways. My biggest need is always volunteers for events, but that doesn't mean just at that event I need a volunteer to be working there. I also need volunteers to help me get ready for that event. So I need help organizing the day of schedule. I need help, getting hold of businesses that may want to donate raffle prizes. I need help sitting on a committee. Maybe that's something you haven't ever experienced before. Sitting on a committee, that's where all the planning happens, all the great ideas come together, and that's a great experience to do that. That being said, our biggest event will start pretty soon. Our committee meetings will be starting right after Thanksgiving, and they will be Zoom committee meetings. We have 5 cities that we will have Bowl for Kids' Sake in. We do in Eau Claire, Chippewa, Menominee, Hudson, and New Richmond. So this year it's going to be what we call a hybrid. So we will have some bowlers at the lanes, but we'll also have that virtual option for those that just are not comfortable yet being out in person. So I'm going to need a lot of help organizing that. That is our major event. That's over $200,000 event. So we need to execute it perfectly. That means I need help with things you didn't even think of. Packing up for day of, organizing, taking inventory, sitting down and going over what we'll need day of as far as t-shirts, sweatshirts, those all need to be folded. I can't even go into how many things that I need help with that you wouldn't even think were involved in doing an event. The other thing is I have some projects for fund development just sitting there. If any of you are organizers, you like to organize, you're great at creating a database, I need your help. We have a room in the back that has t-shirts and sweatshirts from other events. We also have items that we use during some of our events, for decor and decorating. Well, we need to really take account of those and do an inventory. And then we need to put them away so they're all together and we know where they are, so we can go to that quick if we need to. So if there is someone out there that has some great organizing abilities, it's not a one-day job. Because I do want a database created so I know exactly what I have when it comes time for an event. I would appreciate that help. So yes, fund development is about events, but it's also, there's a lot to do with it, and there's a lot you can also learn from it and get at the same time. So, like Charity said, if being a big is just not where you are right now, we also have some other options for you. So Charity?
All right. So one of the things though, Terry Jean, when we talk about fundraising, the reason why fundraising is so critical for our organization is that we don't charge the family any money to have their child enrolled in our program. So it is a free service for them. And then we have to get that money from somewhere. So we are 100% community supported. So people, companies and things like that at fundraisers and just supporters are how we are able to serve children. And we this year we've served about 270, a little bit lower than we wanted to be, but COVID is not playing nice. So we're hoping to get that number back up over 400 in the next year. So that's our goal. And that's why we're here talking to you to help us get that number up a little bit. So I'm not quite sure how this will go. We intended to be available if there's any questions. So I don't know if Zach and Ethan know how to coordinate that, or if you want to just email the person that they have set up with any questions, that would work as well too. So I can't see anybody, so I don't know.
I know it is very strange not to see anybody. And like Charity said, our events are so important to us. Our events are about 50% of our budget, of our annual budget, between both our regions in Chippewa Valley and St. Croix Valley. So it is imperative that we, and I said it before, that we execute them perfectly, because we can make more matches. We can make our matches better, keep them where they should be if we have the funds to do it. So fund development, events, fundraising, whichever you want to call it, I would welcome you to come and help me out with that.
Yeah, so a question came up in the chat, and I'd like to address that. The children in our program are typically between 7 and 14. Some of those site-based programs, those lunch buddy programs that I talked about that are struggling with right now, there could be a kindergartner in there, so 6.
Yep.
But most of our kids are between the ages of 7 and 14, and they are all facing an adversity in their life. We don't choose and say what is an adversity. The family just needs to feel that their child is. So these children are either low income, single parenthood, maybe both parents are there, but they're working and they don't have that one-to-one time. Maybe the child is socially struggling or academically struggling. And so our office is actually just across the river from campus. So if you're looking at doing some office work, or literally on the other side of Phoenix Park, right over if you have found Ramon's Ice Cream or Kitty Corner from them, most people have found that. So, but if you were with a child, you would be out into the community. So, and the other question, or virtual, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Another question is how do the kids get assigned with a volunteer? So we want every child to achieve their full potential and achieve success. So when we look to match a big and a little, so a big is the volunteer, a little is the child. So big brother or big sister, little brother, little sister. We do that based on common interest, but then what the child needs and what the volunteer has to offer. So that's how we do that. Our goal is to make a good match. In an ideal world, we would match our volunteers with a child age 7 to 14, and they would actually stay matched with that child until that child graduated high school. So with this new, with COVID, what we've learned is that we had to go virtual. So that's even more feasible with our virtual
Right.
program. You as a big could spend 2, 3 years here at college with that child and then go off into the other side of the country and still stay connected. So if anything positives come out of COVID, it's that ability for us to make virtual matches now. So
Yeah, and that's what I was going to add. Sometimes with our matches, that the lunch buddies, once summer came, our college students went home, and they stayed in touch via email. But now with virtual, you can stay in touch all the time. All throughout the year. It's you can schedule it. Maybe lunch buddies wouldn't be good for you, but you could schedule a time with your little that would work best for the both of you in the evening. So, and Charity, I'll take this while it's
Yeah.
coming up. So the question that came up is, are multiple volunteers assigned to a child for the 1 hour? So this is a one-on-one mentoring. So one big, one little. We do not, it's so that one child, and we said facing adversity, they can get special time, one-on-one time that they need. So that's why we do one big, one little. We do have something called a couples match that is a married couple. That sometimes we do matches. There's only a couple, I do believe,
Right.
but yeah, we do keep the 1-to-1 ratio with that.
Yeah. And so one of the other things that frequently comes up is, do I have to have like a certain big, do I have to have a little brother or a little sister? So if you are a big brother, we will give you a little brother. So of that 140 kids on that waiting list, about 60% of them are actually little boys who are waiting for a big brother. And that's what they want. Some little boys are okay with a big sister, and we will match a big sister with a little brother to try and help some of these boys that are waiting for help, and because they're just looking for a positive person.
Right.
But there are a lot of boys that are looking for that male figure in their life. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any other questions that are coming through. Ethan has my information. So Ethan, and you guys feel free to share my email with everybody. And you can, any questions, you can call me. You won't have the phone number very well, but you can call our office. The website is just www.bbsnw.org. And so we want to, again, thank you for the opportunity for us to get in front of you guys. Being a big is already a service learning project on the service learning website. And so Terry Jean and I will work to create some of those fundraising projects so that they're available for you to look on. So
yep, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you guys, we really appreciate you letting us come in. It's great to be able to put ourselves in front of some, excuse me, my dog's being naughty, to put some, in front of she's being really bad, in front of fresh faces. You never know who's going to be out there that this program will actually it'll strike you. So, think on it. Charity can get hold of, give me any questions you may have. Otherwise, you know what, guys? Have a great holiday.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to wait 1 second to make sure Zach is telling me that we're all good to go. And so, everybody enjoy their holiday. And I think, everybody's going to stay virtual for a while, which will, put a little bit of kitchen things, but we're ready to work with everybody virtually. So,
I have ways to do it. So.
All right.
All right.
So
guys,
thank you guys. Have a great night. All right. Bye.
Huh? Oh shoot, I gotta do it. Yeah. 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 Oh, I can just do it right here. Alright. Leave that up for another minute. What did you guys think about the opportunity that Big Brothers and Big Sisters have to offer? Is anyone kind of interested at all? Okay, yeah. So what we'll do is, if anybody's interested, please send Skylar an email, and she will forward your email to Charity, and we'll get things rolling for that.
I like that they offer other alternatives to not just like doing the.
Yeah, just doing the Big Brothers. Yeah. So,
So are you like planning the activities of the kid, or does the kid like go play Fortnite or tag all day?
all right. So today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn profiles and resumes. I hope some of you guys brought your laptops and or a printed out copy of your resume, and we'll be working on those today. We have a lot of incredible opportunities to kind of boost your resume and LinkedIn tonight, and one of that ways is through our agenda tonight, and that is through Sophia Montana. She used to go here at the University of Wisconsin Eau Claire. She was a marketing and sales major, and right now she currently works for TempWorks, which is a big software industry, and she is the account manager for that. The second part we'll kind of bump into is the resumes before and after comparisons. And then we'll have some questions. So if you guys came prepared today with some questions, you can ask Sophia that, or myself, or anyone else on the executive board. And then finally, we will do LinkedIn and resume review, and stay after the meeting if you want somebody to kind of critique your resume at all. And then Charlie has professional headshots in the back if you'd like your professional headshot today for your LinkedIn or anything else. And yeah, so now I'm going to kind of talk a little bit more about Sophia. And she, like I said, it did go here. You can connect with her on LinkedIn. That's obviously the whole point of bringing in the professional connections. And she's going to provide tips tonight. And you can also have your resume sent to me, and I can send it to her, and she can kind of review that as well if you'd like a professional look at your resume. I know we did have one member take advantage of that. Yeah, so I guess we'll just wait patiently and we'll get Sophia on the call.
Hello. All right. Can you hear me? Do I not get to see anyone's faces today? Holy man, I can hear myself echo. Okay. No faces, camera isn't working. That's okay. Can you ask me questions or? All right. I'll introduce myself. Does that work? I'm texting Ethan right now. Okay. My name is Sophia Montana. I don't know how much you guys know about me. I went to Eau Claire. I graduated in 2018 in the spring in marketing with an emphasis in sales. From graduation, I worked for Tom James Company, which I'm sure you are probably all familiar with. Well, can you unmute? I gotta hear a little bit. Does that work? I feel like I'm talking to myself. This is weird. Okay, so you guys all familiar with Tom James? Awesome. From there, I started my sales career. And I was in outside sales, and I built a book of business, meeting with executives all over the Twin Cities. And then I got an opportunity to get into the software industry where I worked for a startup company as a sales executive and helped implement the sales process, sales management software for brands on Amazon. Then COVID struck, and unfortunately, we had to do a temporary company shutdown. And I had to find a new job, and I did find a new job at TempWorks Software, where I currently am at, and I'm account manager. So what I do is I help staffing, like temp agencies. I don't know if you're familiar with that in the staffing industry, recruiters, salespeople. I help. There we go. I can see some people finally. Hello. I help. You can hear me? Okay. I help staffing agencies run their software, and I upsell them on different facets of the software just to help keep their business going. Following me? Good? Okay. So I know we're talking today about resumes and LinkedIn. Do we have any questions to start off with? I was going to pull up my resume to just show you as an example. Yep, you want me to do that? Okay. Can you allow me to share my screen? So right now I'm not able to share my screen. All right. There we go. Zoom 5.0. What is that? All right. Bear with me here. Here we go. All right. So, because I have a strong sales background and I'm primarily in sales, I like to start my resume off with my sales achievements. When you think of when you're going to a career fair, to be honest, I used to do recruiting for Tom James. We read about a quarter of your resume. Think about your resume as your first impression. We really only read about a quarter of it. So how can I grab whoever I'm trying to get attention of, the recruiter at the career fair's attention within that first quarter of the page? So that's where I decided to put my sales achievements. I see you're typing maybe. Yes, I can. Finally. Yep, I can. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. I, as you can see, mine, I don't think it really matters. I think I prefer third person, but I mean, it's your preference. Yes. Yeah, of course. That's a good one. So before every interview, I will write down 3 of my greatest weaknesses. And mine is, I usually always say I'm really self-critical. Very. I take, and then I always try and combat it with how I'm working to improve on that. So what books am I trying to read right now, or have I read to help critique that? Does that help? So anytime if I have a weakness, I always say it, and then I say how I'm trying to correct that or back that up. Nice to meet you. Let me ask you this. When you're applying for a resume, are you getting the opportunity to meet that person? Like, are they coming to your classroom? It's probably different with COVID. Or are you applying online? Okay. So circle back. Okay, so you're applying for a marketing position, like an internship. what experience do you have, and how could you relate that current experience to that internship? So whether it be if you have customer service experience, how can you apply that, expand on your customer service and relate it to that marketing internship? Does that make sense? Exactly. See, I was in the same position. I didn't have sales experience. I mean, I was just in the restaurant industry, but here, let me scroll down to my other experience. I tried to expand what I did behind a bar and how I could relate it to being in an outside sales position. So increase sales and revenues by delivering exceptional service. I built relationships with people behind a bar, and that in a way that can relate to being in an outside sales role or an account management role. So how can you, with your current experience, or if you're even in a sport and you're a team player, or how can you expand on that and relate that to that position you're working for? Does that make sense? Okay. So first I would start researching your industries and companies that are in that industry. Where do you want to aspire to work someday? And how can you get your foot in the door by adding someone at that company? And just having a conversation if you even like that industry. Does that make sense? One thing to add to that, no matter what industry, no matter what major you have, it all depends on your network. How are you going to get a job? Who do you know to get your foot in the door? So if you can right now focus on your network and adding people on your LinkedIn and reaching out and getting a little uncomfortable and messaging someone, maybe that's higher up in that company, just to get some insight of how did they get there? Why did they choose that industry? And it'll pay tenfold. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was a loaded question. Let's break that down. Okay, so first part of the question, ask it again one more time. What do I wish I knew? What was the end goal of that internship? Were they gonna use me for just like an office, like assistant person, or am I actually gonna learn something and experience that internship? Like, are they looking to hire an intern for a potential position after college, or am I just gonna be kind of a part of their office to do little tasks for them? Because my first internship, it was a lot of, I just was kind of like an assistant in a way. And it did offer me a job after graduation, but I feel like I could have learned a little bit more too and been more hands-on. So researching the company a lot beforehand, and seeing if you can just get like a one-on-one conversations going with the person that you're going to be working with every day. Mm-hmm. That's a good question. If you think it will be relevant, see, this is funny because I'm looking at my resume right now and I'm seeing how I was a phlebotomist in college. And I'm like, does that really relate to being an account manager at a software position anymore? Probably not. Is it a good conversation starter in an interview? Yeah. I don't know. Just it's so different when you're in college and you don't maybe have an internship under your belt. But what do you think? The biggest thing would be, what do you think will differentiate yourself from other candidates? How can you add value to the company that you'll potentially be working for? So whether it be you were an athlete or you were on the National Honor Society or you were in different organizations, even if you work at Quick Trip or if you work as a bartender, you're still learning life skills in those positions. How can you elaborate on that to that's a good learning lesson of the jobs you're in college, and how can those apply to your future jobs? Because a lot of things that I learned in college, I still use in my day-to-day, everyday job now. I mean, being a bartender taught me how to be a people person and build relationships with people and get uncomfortable and talk, just be outgoing and talk to people. Does that make sense? This is so weird. I can't see anyone. It's all good. Yeah. So a big recommendation, and which I need to do as well, is start connecting with everyone that you're currently at school with in your organizations. Start connecting with any sort of professional network, whether it be like your parents, friends, anyone. Like, just start connecting with anyone you can think of. Think about your Instagram. How many followers do you have on Instagram? You should have that on LinkedIn as well. I think I have more LinkedIn connections than I have Instagram followers, which is sad because I'm only 24 years old. But just connect with anyone you can think of, because in the future, when you're looking for a job and someone looks on your LinkedIn page and they see a mutual connection of you, they're going to bring that up, and it could be a positive connection. They could reach out and use them as a reference for you without you even knowing. So my recommendation, connect with as many people as you can. Also, for any of your references, have them make a recommendation about you right on your LinkedIn page. LinkedIn is evolving so much that it's now just like your resume. I did a terrible job. I need to ask for more LinkedIn recommendations. When I worked at Tom James, I had my own website, so I had people post on there and on Google reviews. But I should definitely have more people write recommendations for me, like my previous sales mentors or previous boss or leaders. But see if any of your professors could write a recommendation for you, if any of your current bosses or coaches. That's just going to add some value to your profile. Also, see if anyone can start endorsing your skills as well. So build that up as well. Because when recruiters run searches in the future, that's how they pull information, is based off your LinkedIn, based off what kind of skills you have listed and how many endorsements or recommendations you have on your page as well. And then start just sharing like posts. Ethan does a really good job of updating and sharing insight. Just maybe if you find a cool article or if you have a thought, start posting. I mean, people post on Instagram and they post on Facebook all the time. You can do a casual LinkedIn post as well. So what I used to do is I did a lot of, when I worked at a startup, I did a lot of like business posts. And then you can see how many people are viewing your feed. And then I used to do a lot of like client posts as well. Just trying to keep everything relevant. Any other questions? If anyone wants to send their resume, yeah, to me, and if they want, yeah, I will definitely take a peek. I know I looked over, was it Erica? I looked over hers a little bit and I didn't finish, but the biggest thing for resumes is if you can back up, oh shoot, my email. If you can back up with actual facts or examples, so if you have skills listed on your resume, if you can back up examples as to how that skill relates to you, that is huge. Because it's saying that you're personable or organized or whatever, doesn't everyone can say that they're personable or organized or they're hardworking, but how can you show an example or provide a metric as to how you are that? Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, guys. It was nice to meet everyone. How many people are in your organization now? Oh, wow. That's okay. That's great. That's great. That is awesome what you guys are doing. All right. Have a good night. Let me know if you have any questions. Add me on LinkedIn. I'll be your connection. Bye.
we're gonna do some dues just because we don't have any funding at all for a whole year. So look forward to that in your emails, but the rest of you guys have a good rest of your day. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to send us an email. Hey, good job, Chad.